And so I arrived back from the advanced trainer course, and the next day Michael Quinn arrives down and we head off on the Leitrim Way. So Michael Quinn, aka Mountain Mike's Adventures, is another Irish hiker who lives over in Mayo, and we so rarely hike with other people that it's really nice to do that sometimes for a change. Our hike took us from Manorhamilton, the current northern terminus of the trail, down to Dara, which is about 30k in one day, and we had a really lovely time. We had great weather, and yeah, it was really lovely to kind of share the trails with a friend. We had originally planned to do the full trail, so then day 2 would have been Dara down to Leitrim village, but plans change and life happens, so I'm delighted that we got out for one full day with him anyway and got to show off a little bit of the northwest that he hadn't yet seen. And I guess now we've reached the running section of the video. So we skip back to February. Carl and I did the Tony McGowan half marathon in Drumshanbo here in Leitrim, which is really nice to do a run with a load of locals, meet some more of the incredibly fast Leitrim runners, and yeah, have a good day out. We had both been sick for the 6 weeks beforehand. So all of January and the start of February we were absolutely wiped out. So I was incredibly proud of Carl to both finish his first half marathon and also get under the 2 hours, which was his goal. So he completely smashed that, did fantastic. But what makes me smile is that in the car afterwards, as we kind of collect ourselves before we drive home, he kind of turns and says that I can't imagine running another step past the 22.1k he had done that day, which was mildly concerning because 2 weeks after our gallivanting with Michael Quinn on the Leitrim Way, we were making our way down to Limerick for Carl to run his first ever full marathon. We stayed with my Uncle Shawnee and Ciara. Thank you so much guys for putting us up, I really appreciate it, and Carl did too. Got up early and drove in on the Sunday to, for Carl to run his first marathon. It was quite a humid, warm day. As a spectator, I was warm, never mind Carl out there running. So I spent the day zigzagging between different parts of the track because the shape of the Limerick Marathon means that as a spectator you can see the start and then walk across a few streets and see the 3rd kilometre or whatever section. So that was really enjoyable for me as a spectator. I think Carl also quite enjoyed the way he kind of looped in and out of the city several times because it meant that you had a lot of people in the city kind of cheering you on, and then you had a quieter section just to kind of take away some kilometres out in kind of the outskirts, and they come back in again and get another revitalising boost of energy.
Hi Carl, it's going guys, stuff, keep going, you're doing brilliant. Oh, thanks, I appreciate it.
I am delighted to say that Carl was completely wrong about himself, and he managed to run the 42.2 kilometres to finish his first ever marathon. even in the time that he wanted to do it in, which was great. I was really, really proud of him. So yeah, I had a great day of drinking coffee and going to the finish line and cheering on people. Saw Carl do his sprint for the finish and then had to run to catch up to meet him afterwards. The following week I was back up in Wicklow, this time just for a day, to meet up with Joanna Windich, who is a patron of ours and is now, I hope, a good friend of mine, as she was doing the Wicklow Way. Hello guys. So I have just made it to Wicklow. It is 11:40. I left Roscommon this morning because I have a friend who is doing the Wicklow Way. The weather is not great today. Of course, the day that I'm free, it's wet. But it's just a constant mist so far. It's not actively raining, I think, right now. That's safe to look at these things. So I've just parked outside of Lara at the Woolham Mills, because they have a nice big car park here that is open until 8 p.m. and is free. So yeah, I'm going to park up and start heading back the trail and find her somewhere. Yeah, so I thought I would take you with me heading backwards along the route, because the Wicklow Way is just such a nice trail that, yeah, why not explore a day of it. I'm not sure how far back I'm going to get. It would be cool if I made it the whole way to Glendalough, but she started much earlier this morning and my drive took me many hours, so don't know yet. Okay, so the plan for today is I'm just using my running vest as my backpack, and because it's so wet I feel like I'm going to want extra layers for the hike back probably. So I have a dry bag and I'm going to try and keep my layers dry until I meet her, and then if I need them on the way back I'll have something nice and cozy to wear. So we'll see how well this actually fits in. I have my regular hoodie and my down jacket and a beanie and that kind of thing, so we'll see if it works. I hope so. It's a nice idea that I haven't yet put into practice, so. Almost there. Yeah! Let's see what that feels like on my back. But it should be okay. Into the clouds as I make my way towards Glendalough. There's something about weather in Ireland that after a while you come to, well, everywhere respects weather, right? But also I feel like sometimes you're meant to experience places in certain weather. Like, it is part of the climate, it's part of the biosphere of an area. So this doesn't feel all too wrong, if that makes sense. Yeah, at least that's a positive way about looking at all this grey, wet and glorious yellow heather. Not heather, Jesus, gorse. Gorse. I do know my plants, I swear. Or at least I'm learning. But gorse I've always known. Anyway, now I'm rambling and I should get moving again. fantastic. I started to check on Hiker, who we worked with in the past and who are an Irish Trails app, so check them out if you haven't before. But anyway, yeah, I was overthinking it. I went the right way. It's all good. But look at the pure clouds that I'm in today. On we go. So these trees here are Scots pine, and they are probably my favourite native pine. Oh, there goes a red squirrel. There's no way you saw that, but that is the second tiny red squirrel I've seen, and they are just so gorgeous. So I've made it to Glendalough. I'm past the visitor centre and monastic city, and I found a patch without any tourists. Definitely one of the busiest sections of Wicklow and of the trail, but it is also incredibly beautiful. So I don't blame anybody for coming here or begrudge them. I didn't think I'd actually really run much today, but I have been the last while, and I'm wearing a base there, so I am plenty warm. Better that than too cold. So, hello, I am back in the car. I met Joanna up at the upper lake of Glendalough, which is just such a beautiful area, and we walked back to Lara, where her accommodation is for the night, on her Wicklow Way journey. And yeah, there's just something so wonderful about hiking. But I think just like the people you meet, like they might have different like previous experience in life and everything, but there's so much kind of common ground. And anyway, yeah, I had a really, really wonderful time. I also love experiencing, like, being a tiny part of somebody else's trail experience, because I remember when we were hiking full time, how much like the small interactions or like people you met like shaped your whole experience. And I really, really want for people who come to do trails in Ireland to be able to like give back some of that goodwill and good feeling and stuff. That's why like I will go out of my way to give someone a lift to a trail because the lifts that we got when we were hiking full time meant that like we actually got to trails and we were able to do the thing. So yeah, it was really, really wonderful. So now I just have my drive home to listen to some audiobooks, reflect on the outdoors and the wonderful people I meet through it, and yeah. Oh, that's the wrong button, that's the video. So what I would never have guessed back in 2017 when we started making these videos is that one of the things that brings me the most joy is when somebody does a trail because we've recommended it or have used our resources in their trail preparation or have been inspired to try something new because of what we have documented. And knowing that Joanna was coming to Ireland to walk the Wicklow Way, I 110% wanted to meet up with her for at least a section. What was interesting for me doing the trail again was that This time I was doing it southbound as opposed to northbound previously, and there were views that I hadn't actually seen going this new direction. I have such strong memories of the trail, but there were definitely a couple of views that I guess I was just intent on getting up the hill or whatever it was, and I had completely missed them. So it was really, really lovely to get to see new parts of it again for a day. Thank you so much for having me join you for the day, Joanna, and I'm sure we will cross trails again in the future. A couple of weeks passed and Carl and I worked away at our day jobs and life ticked on, and I got a message from Roz Purcell, who runs the Hike Life, about an application that I put in way back earlier this year. So they're running an initiative to get more women leaders in the outdoors, and part of that was an opportunity to do the Lowland Leader Course for free. So hundreds of women applied, and I didn't win the first round of the draw. However, with I think less than 10 days to go before the course, one of the women chosen wasn't able to attend anymore, and my name got picked out of the hat, and Roz asked if I was available, if I was free to go. So I wasn't going to pass up this kind of opportunity, changed some plans and drove the 5 or 6 hours it was down to West Cork. So this course was run by Julie Reeves, who is a mountain leader in Ireland, and she was phenomenal. What's different about the Lowland Leader versus the mountain skills courses that Carl and I have done so far is that the mountain skills courses are about developing your personal skills in the mountains, whereas the Lowland Leader is focused on you being qualified to bring groups out on trails, which is actually quite a big distinction. So I felt quite lucky in that a lot of the work that I have done for Leave No Trace as a trainer and an educator and a facilitator in their sphere really prepared me for working with groups. Like I have worked with groups. And so for me, this course was the perfect complementary element to all that training. So myself and 3 other women spent 2 days out on the Sheep's Head Peninsula, which is one of the most beautiful places, and just spent over 16 hours learning from each other and from Julie. It was amazing. We were so lucky with the weather as well. The first day we were up on the ridge in glorious sunshine, and then the second day was down lower on the Sheep's Head kind of way and the different trails of that area, and the ridgeline was covered in clouds. So we beautifully managed to do the course sections on the right days. So that is Lowland Leader training course done. That was fantastic. I had a really, really good weekend. Julie Reeves, who facilitated the course, really hammered home respect in so many different forms. It's respect for the people you're bringing out, providing them with the right level of care and information and guidance on these kind of lowland guided walks or whatever way you're facilitating this outdoor experience. It's respect for the people who own the land and enable the access to it and maintain it and develop the trails. And it's respect for the land and the weather itself, understanding what you can and cannot do somewhere, and then there's respect for your peers. So it was really, really good. The other women on the course were also really engaged, really engaging. I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, what a wonderful weekend. So now that I've done the training, I still have to go off and log my 20 related hikes. I need to go and do my mountain first aid course, like my Rec 3, and my assessment before I'm qualified. But doing the Lowland Leader course was one of the things I put down in my action plan at the end of the Leave No Trace Advanced Trainer course. So to have already achieved that goal is phenomenal, and it means that I can now adjust to now also want to get the assessment done within the next 6 months. So yeah, I feel incredibly lucky. So a huge thank you to Julie Reeves, who delivered a phenomenal course. I learned so much from her, and thank you to Roz Person and the Hike Life for giving me a free place, and yeah, getting more women into the leadership roles in the outdoors. Oh, and the final thing I'll mention is, so before I drove to West Cork, I had stopped by Great Outdoors in Dublin to grab a couple of new maps and stuff, a couple of supplies, and while I was there, I got to see myself and Carl life-size on the wall with our MSR Hubba Hubba tent over their camping section. It's still absolutely surreal to me when I see stuff like that. I am forever grateful for Great Outdoors for helping us secure gear and giving us discounts when we need it, and just being wonderful people to work with. And yeah, and then I get to give them photos and they make crazy things like that happen. So I don't think that will ever feel normal, which I'm happy about. I get to feel shock and awe every time I see myself printed on something. And that more or less brings me up to May, the month that we are now in. Carl is away in Austria on a work trip. He's over in Innsbruck for work. So he's sitting in an office all day looking out at these beautiful mountains. I don't think I could stand it if I was in his shoes. Maybe I should get some vacuum pack dry bags. Maybe that's what I really want. Although the idea of having a vacuum cleaner in the car is also preposterous. There was a junction behind me that didn't have an Elvis way marker on, and I'm mildly concerned I chose the wrong way. Normally Carl and I are pretty lucky, we nearly always choose the right one, but right now mildly concerned I chose the wrong one.